Salutations, everyone. This is Kaiju RMCU Superfan, and I am proud to make an announcement. This is my first YouTube video. My first YouTube video is I will be establishing a cinematic universe. Now you may be wondering, why are you making a cinematic universe? Isn't that a bit too cliche? Don't many people already do that? Well, my friend, it is not Marvel nor DC. It is of something that I like to call enormous. That is right, the Monsterverse. Now you may be wondering, don't Warner Brothers already is doing a Monsterverse and they're doing pretty good? They might have like a bunch of sequels in the future. Well, my friend, Warner Brothers has made so many mistakes, and I think they might screw up with the Monsterverse, which I hope they don't. But knowing that Warner Brothers has repeated mistakes and fumbled back too many times, even when things were a little bit perfect for them, I couldn't agree furthermore. For my Monsterverse, it will be a series of films, side projects, specials, anything that can be consumed as monster media. Now you may be wondering, which ones are available with legal rights? Oh no, this ain't legal rights. This is just more like a fun passion project. Like a kid playing with their toys and making the coolest fan fiction ever. No copyright claims or anything. It's just fun action. Now, you'll also be wondering, which form are you going to use? Are you going to use the Heisei era, the Showa era, or Millennium Saga? Well, unfortunately, none of those. If it's a cinematic universe, I think the prime candidate is the Monsterverse designs. It has good live action CGI, and obviously, it's faithful to the originality of it. I'll be using Gamera, Godzilla, and many of the other ones. Kong over the time, but that's for another story. For now, on to our first project of the Monsterverse. Side note, the Monsterverse will have phases. There will not be any sagas. There won't be the Infinity Saga or the Multiverse Saga. So don't expect like a Canos or Kang anytime soon. Now, on to our first project. That's right. Monsterverse presents Godzilla, Rise of the Titans. Now you may be wondering, I thought this would be like Godzilla versus something, or just Godzilla the name itself. Well, I need to make titles to actually make sense to the story. In my Monsterverse, things are a little bit more different than what Warner Brothers did. Titans will be established early on as beasts that have been living for ancient eras, were worshipped by humans, and a lot of lore coming in. For this project, we'll be establishing the era of Godzilla. For this one, it takes place during the end of World War II, when the Japanese and the Axis powers was happening. Atomic bomb has not been launched, no Hiroshima or Nagasaki. We're not there yet. And you may be wondering, I thought Bikini Atoll was the one that gave radiation to Godzilla. Oh, it will. But right now, Godzilla is going to be in his pre-mutated form, also known as Odo Island Godzilla. We will also have Anguirus, who is the best friend of Godzilla, but enemy at times. And for our first villain of the Monsterverse is ironically Zilla. Now you may be wondering, why are you choosing Zilla? Wouldn't he be better for his own thing? Of course. But I watched the 1998 Godzilla movie and I understand why everyone was up in their asses. But aside from opinions, I will be making it as the first villain and the creation of mutation. If you all remembered or not, I will be posting some shorts explaining facts about these kaijus so you guys can understand the Monsterverse and the companies and tech that will be used in this. Now, for this Monsterverse, we will not do things crazy as like Heisei era doing a dropkick or something like that. More like the Monsterverse's craziness like Godzilla and Kong running, but we're not there yet. So in this story, it's more of full bashing stories of humans and the war, how it impacted people, but it can also help us understand more about these beautiful creatures. Our second project will be Mothra, Protector of Earth. This one is a difficult one that I had to make, but I gave it my all. Side note, some things of these MonsterVerse projects will not be replicas of the actual MonsterVerse movies or any Toho ones. I'll get the concepts of them and their characters and try to make an original story or a story that can be similar to recognize. Because seriously, Kong Skull Island was literally Apocalypse Now, if you guys understand that part. But in Mothra Protector of Earth, it will be set in China during the 1950s, when things were not going good, and Mothra will be that beacon of hope for many people in that time. Most of these MonsterVerse projects will also have monster's perspective and the human's perspective. It's a mixed bag, so we can actually see what works and what doesn't. You guys can tell me later on. For this one, we'll be including an elderly Mothra. A Mothra that has been taking care of the place, and then we will meet a young larva Mothra, who will be our main Mothra furthermore. And for our first villain is the one and only Batra. Now I know you guys are gonna say that, isn't Batra a villain from space? Of course, aliens will exist in this MonsterVerse, but there is some history from the past that can be covered up, or just plot holes that will be filled on later on. It's a long way to go, but Titanus Mosura will be coming in. Side note, I won't use as much music from the original as well, because Toho is very stingy, so when I do get music, I'll have to talk over it. My apologies, everyone. On to the next one. Rodan, the Winged Devil. Now, Rodan in its Toho movie is a little much different. There were two Rodans, and the final one turned out to be the baby Rodan that we grew up with the Toho universe, but in this one it's a little more different. This will take place more in the Philippine Islands and volcanoes that reside there. Rodan will do its thing of being the protector of Earth, but also an aggressor as well. Some titans that you will see in this one will be Megalunon, which is the bug species that Rodan species eat. There are some titans that are bigger than a normal titan, kind of like skullcrawlers in the Kong Skull Island, and furthermore will be put in. For this one, I decided to put in Varan. Now, Varan is a difficult character or monster to even put in because Toho had so many close calls and missed the mark. So I'm gonna put this monster to justice because he just had one movie and then it was gone. And he was nothing but cameo appearances. But I'm trying to get as many monsters as possible to, have their time to shine. Tuning in to the big team up of Phase 1 will be Ghidorah, the Dragon King. Now when it comes to Ghidorah the Dragon King, you may be wondering, hi, aliens already come here that fast? Did they just landed? Did he just attack the whole city like in King of the Monsters? Yes, but actually no, because furthermore in that project, I will explain why aliens are now coming down to Earth when they did in the past, and why Ghidorahs of all of people have come to wreak havoc. For this project, we will have our surprise appearances, our first mech kaiju, or in other words, mech creation, Jet Jaguar. Now, Jet Jaguar is a different lore in different texts of iterations. For this one, it is the first mech to be used to team up with the kaijus, or titans, to defeat King Ghidorah. And this project will impact the rest of all phases and future ones because so many events happen here that it's just like little seeds being planted in a grain of grass. Some other things that I will have to inform is that each team-up project will not have almost everyone from the certain phase project because they're off doing their own thing, or they might appear as like a post-credit scene. You never know. Lastly, we have our final project of Phase 1, Kong, Legend of the Skull Island. In this one, it's not a little bit like Kong Skull Island. That plot was good, but one shouldn't always repeat something that isn't their creation, so that's where I am at the moment. And for this one, I decided to have Gorosaurus, because Gorosaurus is basically the V-Rex from Peter Jackson's King Kong movie. And for this one, I will have some of the characters from Kong Skull Island do their thing, but also, change some things up. This is not the origin of Monarch. Monarch will be furthermore in, because I'm pretty sure the secret shady government should happen after an awakening that is covered up, which will be the attack on Odo Island in Godzilla Rise of the Titans. And that is it for Phase 1 of the Monsterverse. I am so glad to finally do this. It's been a passion project of mine. I've had these ideas up in my head, but I just didn't know how to way to express it. But luckily now's the time, and I couldn't be more happier to know that I decided to do this. I do want to clarify some big themes for this upcoming channel and its projects coming in. If you have an idea to create your own OC kaiju, or if you want to pitch something to work on a side project for some certain kaiju, comment me on the comments below, or I will be putting in my Discord server so you can join as well and be part of this community. People who are in the Discord server will have a lot of perks. For example, early access to these projects, as in earlier concepts or early reveals. I will try to make some kind of trailers for each project so it can be exciting, like watching a trailer of a Godzilla movie or something like that. But I can also put in plot synopsis so you guys don't feel lost as possible. I will also do videos or shorts explaining the kaiju facts, their history, and what their powers can do. Because I'm gonna tell you, when we go to the alien kaijus, there's gonna be a lot of powers that sound like they're a load of BS, but they're really not, because it's just pure fun. So, I hope you guys like this presentation. Be sure to subscribe, like, notify, maybe share this, spread the word for the Monsterverse to come, because this is a whole new beginning, and I know this is my first video, but I think I'm going to improve time to time. I will have more further directs based on a Phase 2, Phase 3, etc. But those will be better day by day. But I hope you all have a great day, and see you guys very soon. Take care.